guys, today I'm filming my Hit It or Quit It thoughts on hauls number 42, I believe. If you guys have never seen one of these videos from me before, I'll have my playlist linked down below. And basically, I'm going to be reviewing every single item that I featured in a haul video from 10 months back. Oftentimes, once you see something featured in a haul, you never hear it mentioned again unless it's in a favorites or an empties. So what I like to do in these videos is review every single item that I hauled. My inspiration for this series is it's Kirsten and her What I Thought on Stuff I Bought series. I will have her channel and her playlist linked down below. I will also link down below the original haul video, and I will list and link all the items that I'm mentioning. And a lot of these products have been featured in other videos, so I will put as many videos as I can in the cards, but the rest of them I will put in the description box. So the first couple things that I had purchased were from Ulta, and I had picked up two things from the Too Faced Sweet Peach collection. Actually, my husband had got these as a Valentine's Day / anniversary gift. So the first thing I have is the Too Faced Sweet Peach palette. I do have an entire palette of the month review video showing you guys different looks and giving you my thoughts on the formula. So I will go ahead and have that video linked up here, and I really do enjoy this palette. This is actually one of the only Too Faced palettes I have. I own this one and the peanut butter and jelly, and that's it. I don't have any of the chocolate bars, really because I wasn't in love with any of the colors, but I figured that this palette was so beautiful and I was excited to get it. It does smell very strongly of candied peach. I do not despise it, but I don't love it. It is too sickeningly sweet for me, but because it's going on my eyes and not on my lips, it doesn't really bother me so much. But I think that the colors in here are very beautiful. I basically would use all of the shades in this palette except for these last three and these first three. I can use some of these to set my primer, but they're like a satin finish instead of a matte, which is kind of annoying. So these shades on the end I don't love so much because these are just too dark for what I usually wear. But all the shades in the middle I think are really pretty. We've got Georgia, which I like for transition, Puree, which is a great crease color, and then Summer Yum, which is really nice outer corner. I love all these peachy shades, the bronzy shades. I think this is actually a very good palette. So I really like the mattes. I think that they're very easy to work with. They aren't too dry or too soft. They're a little more on the dry side though if I had to pick one way or the other, but I find that they're very easy to blend and build. I really love the mattes in this palette. These shimmers I think are pretty, and they're just shimmery. They're not metallic. But I do find that when I put them on the eye and then I go in and do all of my other eyeshadow, you know, crease, blending, all of that, it looks really dull on the lid. So then I'll go back in with my finger and apply a little bit more. And I find that it just gets dull throughout the day. It doesn't stay beautifully shimmery, which is a little bit of a bummer. The pigment is still there, but just the shine tends to fade. So overall, I am really happy that I have this in my collection. I think it is a good quality palette. And then the other item is one of the Too Faced Sweet Peach Creamy Peach Oil Lip Glosses. I also did an entire review video on this product. It'll have linked up here as well. I have the shade Pure Peach, which is a light pink toned peach, and this smells just like the palette except even stronger. And I have to tell you, in the video I was like, oh, you know, I think, you know, I can kind of get over it once it's on my lips for a while, and I can, but honestly it is so sickeningly sweet. I don't necessarily want to reach for this gloss because I don't like the scent. It is just way too overpowering for me. So that's totally personal preference, but that might get in the way for you of wanting to use this. But for the formula, it is so creamy on the lips. It does not feel sticky or thick at all. But because it is so smooth and so thin, it is not going to last on your lips for a long time, so you will have to reapply. Also, maybe because of this shade in particular, but with how milky this is, I feel like it really clings to any dry patches on my lips. And in those dry patches, the lip color looks darker. And I also found that in the inner part of my lip, products would kind of gunk up and get like that white ring a little bit in the corners. I think you guys might know what I'm talking about. That happened with this. So for me, this is not something that I absolutely love. I would not purchase any more shades, and I honestly wish I didn't buy this. I love the color and the formula, but the scent is really a bother for me. I think I will get use out of this in the springtime, but I definitely could do without this in my collection. Then I had a couple lip products from Maybelline, and at the time these were new. And if you want to hear all the details about my sales and everything like that, check out the original video. But I got these for a really, really good price, which was awesome. So the first thing is the Maybelline Baby Lips Color Balm Crayon, and I have the shade Blush Burst, which is a really pretty light peachy pink color. It is really similar to the Too Faced shade, which is one of my favorite kind of colors. And this is a really nice formula. It does have a beautiful shine to it, which I think makes your lips look fuller. Maybe it's just this kind of color, but I feel like this did really cling to the dry patches in my lips, and it can be a little bit unflattering, so I would say you should moisturize your lips beforehand. I do really like this. It reminds me of the MAC Patent Polish lip pencils, except those have a longer wear time and they feel a little bit thicker on the lips. I think that this is good. Again, this is something that I'll reach for in the spring, but it is also something I could do without in my collection. And then the other item is one of the Maybelline Inti Matte Nude lipsticks, maybe. And this is in the shade Naked Coral, which is very similar to the other shades, except this is a deeper version, but it is a little bit more dusty as well and not as bright. This is very beautiful, and the formula of this, honestly, I think is just the same as the Maybelline Creamy Matte lipsticks. I think this line just has nude colors, but the formula is the same. I think this is a beautiful shade. Again, this is something that I can wear in the spring or the summer. I also could do without this in my collection. Honestly, I love trying out new lip products, but there are very few things that I feel like are must-haves for me when it comes to lip products. And with the Maybelline Creamy Matte lipsticks, I like them. They are very comfortable and they look beautiful on the lips. I don't find that this does draw too much attention to dry patches because it isn't fully matte. But these can be a little bit thick when you reapply them especially, so I don't tend to do that. I'll like wipe it off and start from scratch. So I do think that both of those Maybelline lippies are good, but I could do without them. And then I had one thing that I picked up from the Ulta Beauty Love Your Skin event, which is basically like 21 Days of Beauty, but just for skincare products. So I think almost everything was 50% off, or at least pretty discounted, which is awesome for high-end skincare. And I only purchased one thing, and this is the Murad Clarifying Cleanser, which is part of their acne line. This is originally $30 and I got it on sale for $15. As you can see, I haven't even opened it up yet, which is a bummer. It takes me forever to go through cleanser. I'm really working on one from Mario Badescu right now that should be finished soon. But then I do have some Biore products that are older than this, so I'll have to use those next. But I cannot wait to start using this because I have heard awesome things, even though I feel like cleansers are kind of basic, so you don't necessarily need a high-end one. This I'm very excited to try. So unfortunately I don't have any opinions on that yet. And then the last couple of things that I had gotten from Ulta were all freebies, and I had picked up two of these, one from each order, of the DryBar Hot Toddy Heat and UV Protectant. I think it's just some kind of a cream product that you put in your wet hair before you blow dry it. So I haven't used it yet. I never blow dry my hair, but I'm holding on to it. And then another thing I got was a full-size Honest Beauty Sheer Lip Crayon, which is Jessica Alba's makeup line and skincare line, and also have like house products and stuff like that. But I decided that I didn't need that. I probably wouldn't get a ton of use out of that, so I put it in a giveaway that has already passed, and the winner already has that product. And then I had gotten a little Urban Decay Perversion mascara, which is my favorite high-end mascaras. It has a natural bristle brush, a really wet formula. It gives a lot of volume, but the only thing is that this does smudge pretty bad under my eyes, which is a bummer because I love the way it makes my lashes look. And then the last little freebie I got was this It Cosmetics Airbrush. I'm sure there's a certain style, I'm not sure what it is. The writing has all rubbed off of this. It's just a little tiny brush, and I have been keeping this in my purse to apply some touch-up powder throughout the day, and it does a great job with that. It Cosmetics brushes are so expensive, and I have so many other brush brands that I think work really well. I would never invest in one of these, but I'm excited to have this, and I have used it a lot, and it's a good quality brush, but honestly I think you can find just as good brushes from the drugstore. Another thing I had purchased was the Maybelline Fit Me Matte and Poreless Powder in 100 Translucent, which is not actually a translucent. It's very fair with a yellow undertone. That's an awesome powder. It does help keep me matte. It does give me some nice coverage. I am currently out of that powder, but it is holy grail to me, and I have repurchased several, and I will continue to do so. And then I purchased some things for ColourPop. I picked up 4 of their Valentine's pressed powder shadows. I do have an entire review video on the ColourPop pressed powder shadows. I will have that linked up here. So the 4 shades I have would be Double Date, Pinky Promise, Going Steady, and 143. So we've got 2 mattes, 2 metallics, 2 purples, 2 cranberry shades. These are awesome. They are very pigmented and they blend out really nicely. And the ColourPop shadows are a little bit more on the powdery side, not as powdery as Lorac and Kat Von D, but they aren't as tightly pressed as something like a MAC shadow. It's a really nice middle ground formula, so I do recommend it. The metallic shades are really pretty and shimmery. I don't think they're the most metallic. I think that you can get a more metallic effect from the Super Shock shadows, but they are good, and I do really love the matte. So I would absolutely recommend the ColourPop Pressed Powder Shadows. They come in a ton of shades, and I am really impressed with the formula, and they're only $4 each, which is incredible. And then, of course, I had purchased some lippies. I had gotten the ColourPop and Hello Kitty Ultra Satin Lip in the shade Tiny Chum, which is this really light mauve pink color. And somehow at the time when I placed my order, there was a coupon code for $5 off, so I ended up getting this for free because it was on sale for 20% off. And I have yet to try this shade. I do plan on wearing it this winter, so I will let you know how it looks then. And this does look really light in the tube, but for me, all products look darker on my skin tone, so I'm hoping that I love this. I do really love the Ultra Satin Lip formula. And then I picked up the Kathleen Lights Aquarius Trio. So in here we have the glossy lip, the matte lip, and the satin lip. I do have an entire review video with swatches on this trio, which I will have linked up here. I really love these shades and the formula of all of these. I highly recommend it. The gloss is more pink, the matte is more brown, and the satin is more peach. Love them all, have to have. And then I had gotten a gift from my awesome friend, Jean. The first thing that she had sent me was the L'Oreal Infallible Total Cover Foundation in the shade 302 Creamy Natural, which is the second lightest shade in the range. I do have a first impression and follow-up on this that I will have linked down below because I think I'm full up at the cards. This foundation I've heard so many mixed opinions on. Most people hated this, but some people were okay about it. I didn't hear anybody that fell in love with it. I don't believe anybody is using it currently. And I did not hate this as much as other people do, but that's because I'm used to wearing full coverage foundations. But the shade is too dark. It is too pink. It does feel heavy on the skin. It doesn't look the most flattering. This is something that I actually plan on decluttering because I literally have not used it at all since my first impression and follow-up, which is not good, but it's not something that I actually want to reach for. And the next thing I gotten from Jean was the Makeup Geek eyeshadow in the shade Pillow Talk, which is so freaking cool. It's this really pretty metallic icy pinky purple. It is so cool, but I have no idea how to wear this. I haven't used it yet. Shame on me. I'm so happy to have it though. It's beautiful. But if you guys have any idea of what other colors to pair it with, let me know. I'm thinking I can try pairing it with more purple shades and see how that looks. And I was really excited to receive this shadow because it completed my Makeup Geek palette. So if you guys would like to see all of the Makeup Geek shadows that I own with swatches, I'll have that video linked down below. And the last thing Jean sent me was the Morphe 35O palette, which you guys know people rave about. I did do a Is It Worth Hype video on this and some of the brushes, and then I also did a chit chat get ready with me using the palette and the brushes. Those are two separate videos and I will have them linked down below. I think this palette is okay. I think there's so many redundant colors over here. All of those dark browns kind of piss me off because I feel like they could have been so much more creative. This is a mostly matte palette. I wish they had some more metallics because these shimmery foiled shades are so nice. They almost feel wet. And because of that, I can have the shimmer from my lid transfer into my crease because I do have hooded eyes. And with the matte shades, especially some of the darker ones, I don't find that they blend out very nicely and they can just be a little bit tricky to blend, but I'm not the best at blending. So this palette is okay, but I don't love it. The new 3502, I'm very tempted to get because I like those colors a lot more. I know I don't need it, but it is so affordable for a palette. And this is not terrible quality by any means, but I just don't think it deserves the hype that it gets. So then I had my Sephora Play Box. The first item in there was the Clinique Pepstart HydroBlur Moisturizer. I am using this currently. As you can see, I'm almost done with this. I don't like this. The consistency is kind of like gluey. It isn't sticky, but it feels thick, and it's just like, I don't like the consistency. I don't find it to be very hydrating or mattifying. The consistency is so weird. This is never something that I would purchase, so no thank you. I mean, it works fine, but like the consistency grosses me out. And then I had the Origins GinZing Refreshing Eye Cream. I really like that. That little tiny container lasted me such a long time. I definitely would contemplate purchasing that, or at least purchasing another one of those little baby sizes off of eBay, because those eye cream samples last me forever, but it was really nice. So I would recommend that. And then I had the Sephora LashCraft Length and Volume Mascara. I did use that up. I didn't like it. I don't feel like it gave me length or volume. It just didn't do much for my lashes personally, so I would not recommend that. And then I had gotten the Too Faced Lip Injection Glossy in the shade Milkshake, which was like a light nude color. And I put that lip gloss in a giveaway because I didn't think it was something that I would really enjoy. The next thing I do have, it is the NARS Velvet Lip Glide in the shade Bound. I was ecstatic when I received this in the bag because everybody had been raving about this, and Bound is this beautiful mauve color, mauve pink shade, and this is awesome. It really is like a very, very opaque gloss, but it isn't sticky. It feels super smooth on the lips. I absolutely love this. I don't think I would purchase it because NARS is too expensive for me, but I really love this and I'm very happy that I have it, and I'm glad that they sent out a color that people would actually like. And the last thing was the perfume sample, which was the Marc Jacobs Divine Decadence. I hate that scent. I don't know what it is about it. It made me want to hurl. I tried actually recently using it up and I just couldn't. I had to toss it because it was just nasty. And then I had received some PR products. First, I received some items from Inti. They sent me one of their magnetic palettes, 9 eyeshadows, a bronzer, and a blush. I do have an entire review video with swatches of all of those products, which will be linked down below. And to be honest, I thought those products were just okay, so I did pass that along to a friend. And next I had received some things from Pixi, and this was actually my very first Pixi PR package, which was really exciting. And it was this Hello Rose set, which had 3 minis in it. Their Glow Booster, which is like a liquid highlight in the shade Pink Pearl, which I did declutter. The Beauty Blush Duo in Rose Gold, where it is a dusty rose blush and then a rose gold highlight. I actually just recently used up the highlighter. I loved it, and I would actually consider purchasing the big size of it, even though I don't like the blush, because the highlight was so awesome. It is so rare to find a rose gold color that works on fair skin. Usually they work better on someone that has more medium skin tone, but it was beautiful. The formula is a little bit powdery, but I thought it was really nice. And the last thing was the Lip Lift Max in Sheer Rose, which is supposed to be a plumping gloss, but it just has this nice cooling feeling on your lips, but it isn't even as intense as the Buxom. It was a very sheer wash of color, but I loved it a lot, and I would actually contemplate purchasing that as well. I was happy that I was able to use up both of those products, so really love that set. It was a great deal too. And the last thing I had received would be some PR products from Scandinavia. They sent out their new product at the time, which was the Post Makeup Recovery Spray. So basically you are supposed to spray that on after you've removed your makeup, and it is supposed to rejuvenate your skin and give your skin the proper nutrients that were stripped away with the makeup removal process. I just used it up in a project, but I don't feel like it did anything for me, like at all. So I was really, really grateful to have received it. I did completely use it, but it's not something that I would actually repurchase. So guys, that was my hit it or quit it thoughts on hauls. I would love to know your thoughts if you tried out any of these products, and I would love to know if you guys have done a similar video on your channel. Thank you all so much for watching this video. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye guys.